Good afternoon, everybody. June 20th, 2024, U.S. National Grid Implementation Work Group meeting of the stated date. First off, apologies to everybody that's on the call. Sorry about the confusion. It's only the second time in Minnesota we've been tuned into Juneteenth, and old men forget when things change. And so I take full blame for messing this up. And hopefully in the future, we'll look at the calendar for the national holidays to avoid scheduling things on holiday dates in the future. Meeting agenda, uh, 2 to 2:30, administrative meeting updates, uh, you know, 2:31 to 2:58. We have a discussion scheduled, and then a couple of minutes there for wrap up at the end. The administrative meeting and updates, I think we are having troubles here. Okay, administrative meeting and updates. Roll call, it's been automatically collected off of Zoom. The recorder's in fact running. I'm gaveling the meeting open. And before we get underway, are there any changes to the agenda? First of all, the floor is open. If anybody has any changes, deletions, or anything else they want to do to the agenda. Going once, going twice, gone. All those in favor of accepting the agenda as published, I will take the fact that I hear nothing from you as being that you've approved the agenda. And hearing nothing, the agenda is approved. Motion to accept, again, since we're in the world of Zoom, you'll need to voice your opinion that you are against accepting the minutes as published as a YouTube video on our site. Going once, going twice, gone. All right, with that, Randy, do I have a motion to accept the start of the meeting? And I need someone a second.
Second.
All right, thanks, Bernard. We're underway. Here we go. Welcome and super thank you, especially for first-time attendees, for being here. You're going to get to hear me flap my gums for 30 minutes, and then you'll get a more enlightened discussion from smart people. Committee reports. As we've talked about before, we are in the what I would call the startup phase of getting to the point where we'll actually launch as a nonprofit. So we're attempting to assemble everything in the format it needs to be in. We have 3 committees: a board of directors, an executive committee, and a finance committee. So running down the items there, the last meeting of the board of directors was on May 14th. Our focus remains on 2024 priorities, and the next meeting of the board of directors is going to be scheduled for September 24th, a long ways away. Finance committee, Treasurer Kolstead is here. Is there anything you want to add to the fact that we have a whopping $401.86 in our account right now?
I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And with that, I pass it over to let's see if I got Secretary Knipple. Is there anything you would like to add on the committee reports?
Nothing to add.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the priorities review. Red was too hard on my eyes, so I used pink. I hope nobody is offended. So here we go. Here's our priorities list. We've looked at it before. The quick snapshot is this. If it's white, it's being worked on. If it's highlighted in green, it's complete. If it's highlighted in pink for our 2024 priorities list, it's something that needs to get underway. And so let's go take a snapshot of each one and find out where they are. Here's priorities 1 and 2. As most of you, I think, are aware, we've been fighting with this thing of getting the USNG store up and running. It's got that big question mark, and I'm pleased to be able to report to you that significant amount of work has gone into getting the store up and functional. And I'm not going to take us over to the website and look at it, but we're estimating that we should be reach our minimum level of functionality by the middle of July. There's still a lot of work that needs to go on there, particularly in the sense of getting high quality photos positioned in a way that makes sense. The full range of the products that have been developed to support ELM implementation has been is significant, and the old website and what will be the old website failed to appropriately acknowledge that stuff, and the new website is going to drive home the full range of what's available that we've worked through, from everything from kiosk signs to like up here in the upper right hand corner. They in Georgia, there's places where they're actually positioning them along riverfronts. Somebody goes in the water, it gives them a good way of being able to see, even out from the middle of a very large body of water, what that location for a rescue might be appropriate for calling. They've even implemented markers on buoys. There's a wide range of stuff, and we're going to make sure that that's all visible and available. We're also having to work through lots of other issues. The decision was made over the last couple of days. We are going to detach the store from it appearing as being a shared geo project to it being a USNG store specific kind of an approach, which will allow it to be flexible in how it's managed in the years going forward. We're also working through bringing online a customer relationship management database, looking to try to figure out between HubSpot, MailChimp, and what's possible through contact database management in Google Mail as an example. What's the best combination there to have an approach which will work to effectively market the products that will be available on the USNG store. And as I'll discuss here in a bit, we're also going to be looking to coordinate better with Florida State University on getting the word out on social media. So you may have noticed I keep saying we are. Well, what do I mean by that? I'm proud to say that we've been able to bring on board Mike Sovereign, who was previously with the excavation safety folks. He's working with us part-time. He's a marketing expert. So we're using these kinds of approaches to get moving forward and then introduce new products if they become available, like map books, maybe. But anyway, the idea is Mike's working hard. I'm working hard. We're trying to get things to the point where, things will really zing there. The priority number 3, the map book uploader, it's just has to go onto the back burner for these higher priorities where I've got bodies involved. Priority number 4, the ELM production guide, no change on that. This will largely hinge on when the store comes online to finish off this publication and make it available. At the last meeting of the board of directors, we came around to a decision to accept what had been offered as the potential way forward for our professional correspondence. And those items, in fact, have been approved by the board as of May 14th. So we have a look and feel for our professional type items that we're going to put forward. The generic USNG trifold, no progress this period of time, and it's largely hung up for the reasons of getting some basic art rendering stuff to work correctly on a document which will be available for distribution and local editing as people think they need to do. So we've got some tweaking within Word that has some very subtle um, twists and turns of how you get stuff done that we want to make sure is cleaned up. And both myself and the other individual processing this ran into a an unfortunate event over the last month, which has kept us from getting this finished off. But this should be ready to go here shortly. As I've mentioned before, this has been a thorn in my side getting the USNG app number 2 up and line and running as it sits right now. ShareGeo is going to fund its completion. We just need to break into the time of the developer to get them to do what needs to be done. It's all very clearly spelled out. It's just a matter of marching down the road. Priority number 6, social media. Mike, I know I'm going to catch you flat-footed here a little bit, but the idea here would be from the note I sent a day or two ago. We would really like to try to have, as I mentioned, with the U.S. National Grid store, in your effort down at FSU, we'd really like to have a powwow with yourself and with Julia to talk through how we can potentially feed items from the U.S. National Grid store into the social media process. So if you could get back to me with the date that you think will work for you and Julia, that'd be great because I would like to move that project forward. Thank you very much, Julia, for the June 9th update on the social media plan. And we'll use that as the focal point when we get together to discuss how to move that social media piece forward. No progress forward on our priority number 9, write articles for publication. And same with the map production guide. Randy, I'm going to kind of ping on you just for a minute and say, are you thinking you're going to need anything from support at ShareGeo to get you up and running on ArcGIS, or have you figured out a different route forward on what you'd like to do here?
I'm still exploring.
Okay.
I've looked at a couple options. I
Okay.
just need to nail it down. But yeah, I'm
Okay.
trying to figure that one out.
Okay. Fair enough. So leads us to old business slash issues and new business slash issues. So here's what we got going for us. Last time we were together, old business, we were talking about this circumstance of this young lady being out in the middle of the desert, calling into the 911 center, giving her exact locations. And because the fact that she gave them to the call center in lat long and it got transmitted in a different version of lat long, the responders went to a different location, made the determination I was there, obviously as a prank call, blah, 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 and she ends up dying. Not a good outcome. So that's the idea of remembering why we are here. So I thought I heard some skepticism when I made mention of the fact that this is not isolated. So what do you say? Let's go jump over to something that happened, a year ago in Washington, D.C. And lo and behold, they sent responders because people were calling a bridge by different names. They sent responders to a different bridge while 3 people in a car drowned. So that was not a good outcome. And oh, wait, maybe there might be more. How about this one? DC man says 911 sent help to the wrong address for a fire. Let's look at the date on this one, May 13th, 2024. So I'm pounding the drum or whatever you want to call it here to drive home the idea that the gal in Arizona dying in the desert is not an isolated incident. This stuff is going on all the time. And what's even more impactful, as Jules would be able to amplify from an incident that happened, I don't know what it was, Jules, 2 years ago. Um, you know, this is our nation's capital that this is going on in. And if we can't even improve what's going on in the nation's capital, I mean, we've got a serious issue on our hands. And Jules, I see you clicked off, so jump in if you'd like to add some more context to the incident that you ran into.
Well, it was someone who, again, drowned on the Potomac River on a little offshoot of the Potomac River, uh, north of Washington. And it was a combination of jurisdictional issues between Virginia and Maryland and what kinds of location services they used. But again, it's just, and you can write, I wrote letters to the Washington Post and who reported the story and other avenues, and but these things they come up and then they go away. If you'd send me those graphics, though, I'd appreciate it because I want to send them to some people in DOT and DHS here to
Yeah.
remind them of things. Because all of this, I mean, our grid is documented thoroughly in national level doctrine and publications, and the Federal Radio Navigation Plan, the numerous DHS doctrinal publications, not to mention FEMA specifically. So there's no excuse for them not being aware of the power of it and in emergency response and saving lives. There's just no excuse for it. So
Yeah.
we just have to keep at it.
Thanks, Jules. Appreciate it. So it takes us down to issue number 2. What can you do to help the cause? Well, I'll get up and blab some more. I've figured out that we ought to consider folks as being an interested party or being a volunteer. So if you're interested in what we're doing and don't want to get elbows deep in it, here are some things that you can do. Donate, sign up, for as a YouTube subscriber, sign up for social media accounts as they come online, forward meeting announcements. That's always huge. Read up on the U.S. National Grid so you can help others understand what's going on. And if you know about a grant or a potential other funding source, please let us know. So that's like no effort whatsoever, except for a few clicks and maybe 10 minutes worth of your time across, say, 3 months of us not showing up here to do anything. But the active volunteer, that you want to roll up your sleeves and get involved in a project, you can become a project owner, you can serve on the board. And if you got talent, please let us know. So how do we go about doing that? Well, here's what I offered last time, and then I figured out there's a problem with what we were doing there. So I really only had a way for you to volunteer. That's, kind of like not a low level deal. You want me to volunteer straight out of the box? Well, here's the form that will pop up if you click on the volunteer. So the approach that has been changed on the website now says join us. And if you click on that, what you see is if you want to receive information, know about us getting together for training events and other kinds of things, just send an email note to that address and you're all set to go. And then here's the volunteer way going forward. So I believe that will be an improvement on being able to separate out the level of interest that folks have in trying to promote and move forward the effort. And I believe going forward, that will be a solid way to do things. Okay, new business. Who or what did I miss? Going once. Going twice. Gone. All right. I'm blabbing too fast today. We're actually ahead on time. I like it. Comments, announcements, or other business. Anything from the floor? Going,
I'm just curious, because in my particular line of work, we've been coordinating a lot with next gen 911 efforts in our area, and I'm not quite sure exactly what they use for their data source, but where does the USNG fit in there?
yep. So both on the FGDC landmarks and in the next gen, not next gen 911. I can't remember the correct FGDC standard for it. It's broken apart into 7 parts. And in the data structures, US National Grid is supposed to be offered in next gen 911 systems as a readily available alternative address system in the system. You can go look at the spec, and in fact, I believe it's over on the US National Grid Center. The links are there. You can click on it and you can go look at it. And if I remember correctly, the pages and sections are referenced. So it isn't like you got to go because that 911 standard, as I remember, is something crazy, like 890 pages long. And
I
so,
believe it.
yep, the pages are indexed that you're supposed to go look at. And I have to tell you, it has been a ongoing huge problem with both the vendor community and the people that are involved in implementing next generation 911 who do not understand that or do not appreciate it. And the result is ironic given the fact that NISJIC, help me out here, who was it? It was NISJIC. What is the group for 911? NENA, NENA,
Oh yeah. Okay.
National Emergency Number Association. They signed off on it, and there was a third major, maybe it was the FGDC. They all published a document, I believe it's October of 2011, that it beats it's sounding the alarm that we need to implement US National Grid in the emergency call system, and that all 3 organizations are on board. Well, NENA has been historically terrible about promoting the message or moving anything forward on it. So I'm giving you a jaded version, but I've told you where the references are to go look at it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Maggie. Okay. Anything else from the floor? Going once, going twice, gone. Next meeting, Wednesday, October 16th. We are, if I have a motion to adjourn, we'll get out of here.
So
Randy,
moved. So moved.
somebody second, please.
Second, BJ.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none, we're out of here. And just remember, even if you are on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there.
Unless the track is out of service.
Yeah, okay, there we go. All right, thanks everyone for making it. A small group, but it was a great presentation, and we'll have it up online. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you,
a good
Steve.
day.
Take care. Bye-bye.